Millions of kids in the U.S. don't have access to books, and the impact on their growth, well, it's profound. When they start school, the disadvantages include lower grades, fewer skills, fewer job prospects, and also poor health. The Washington, D.C. based nonprofit First Book is hoping to raise $1 million for 1 million books for 1 million kids in need. Kyle Zimmer is behind that big goal, and she is also the CEO and co-founder of First Book. Kyle, welcome to Great Day.
Great to be here.
You're
Great
the founder behind First Book.
I'm one of them. There were three of us.
Okay.
All Washingtonians, so.
Nice. Were you all together and one day said, we've got to do this for the kids?
Well, you know what happened is in Washington in the late 80s and early 90s, the crack epidemic hit.
Right.
And I think we were all activists, and we didn't want to see our hometown struggle without us joining the effort. So we started volunteering at a local soup kitchen, and one thing led to the other, and we began to see the need for books as a critical element for kids in need, for their childhood, for their adulthood, not just in Washington, but in cities all over the country.
What were the differences that you were seeing? Because you don't often think that a book is going to lead to a lower job prospect down the road. But
Right.
was that the correlation you were seeing with people who didn't get books early on?
You know, it's the research. There have been something like 1,100 research studies in the United States to show that books are the critical element. The presence of books in the life of a child is a make or break issue as to whether they become readers, whether they become lifelong learners, and that's everything. You know, that means that they not only have academic success, it means that they're employed, it means that they can support their families, it means that they're more engaged in their communities, and at the larger scale, it means our democracy is complete. You know, they can become engaged, active participants. It's everything.
It's so hard for those of us who grew up with a collection of books always, but to think about someone doesn't have a book. I mean, how does that happen, right?
Right.
So your mission, and talk about the big goal right now, 1 million books, right? For 1 million
right.
kids?
We're here today to launch this campaign. It's called Give a Million. And with support from our publishing partners, we are able to match every dollar donated with a brand new book that'll be placed in the hands of kids in need in the Washington area and far beyond across the whole country. First Book has a network of more than 450,000 educators, all serving kids in need, and they have told us how desperate they are for this resource, what a difference it makes.
And when we say kids, we tend to think like elementary school, but you're serving kids that are up to 18 years old, so teenagers as well.
That's right, 0 to 18 years of age. And the name First Book came from a great poem by Rita Dove, and it was not necessarily about the first book you receive as a little child, but it's about the first book that really grabs you. And so that's what we're shooting for, is putting those books in the hands of kids and really grabbing them and turning them into lifelong readers.
As you're out there and you've handed someone that book that really has changed their life, do they come back and tell you what a difference it's made?
We hear this all the time. We've been at this for 27 years.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
And we've given out about 185 million books over that time. We give away about 16 million a year at this point. And but we have to remember how big the need is. You know, there are 31 million kids who are growing up in low-income families in the United States, and right here in Washington. It's really important. Right here in Washington, there was a study done just a couple of years ago that showed that there was one book for every 830 kids.
Really?
One book for 830 kids, just in the northeast quadrant of the city. And what that tells you is those kids need us. They really need us. And so that's why we're here today, to say, please join us. Give $1, go to firstbook.org/donate. Give $1, give more if you can, and you'll know that every dollar you give means one book will go into the hands of one child.
Wow.
All
it takes is a
gift
dollar.
with legs.
Right.
It's a gift with legs.
Yes, for sure. And it will go on to make a big difference in that child's life. Kyle, thank you so much for sharing this with. All it takes is $1, guys.
That's
tomorrow
right. Just
for Giving
$1.
Tuesday. We'll be right back.